We love Angel Reese. And
just a little bit.
I have to say, what are a couple of things you learned from her as a teammate?
Man, she's fiery.
All right, Angel, we saw you huddle up with your team after last year Poa went down. Any message to Poa?
I love you, Poa.
Hardest player that you've ever guarded?
Oh, Caitlin Clark.
I feel like that was a given, but
The big three names, just getting everything. And I was like, man, it's not fair. I ended up meeting with one of the best lawyers in the country. We can pretty much sue the government for this because it's not fair.
The fact that you're doing that deserves a round of applause. When you got the phone call to say that you're going to the White House, were your family with you?
So you're getting quite old now. You turn 24 later this month.
Tony, who are you talking to? It's last year Poa. Welcome back, everybody, to the 6th Women Basketball Podcast. I am your host, Bez, aka Courtside, thanks to Tony, and this is my awesome co-host, soon-to-be bestie. I say soon-to-be because, we're still ironing things out. Mr. T Swizzle, aka Tony Hallam.
I don't even know what that means, Beza, but thank you for that introduction. What do we got on today?
Just embrace it. Today is exciting.
It is
because
exciting.
it is our first official guest.
And what a guest.
For our podcast. I mean, what a guest. We had to keep it Aussie. Just for our first one, we kept it Aussie, but she is currently playing overseas, so it's exciting.
And she's changing the game on and off the court.
Absolutely. She's got what I would say is one of the most intriguing stories in women's basketball. She's a national champ. She's a proud Australian Samoan woman, and she's currently leading the Arizona State Sun Devils. So, Tony, let's welcome last year Poa.
Doctor, your journey is just really interesting in terms of Whittlesea, Dandenong, going to junior college in Florida, then to LSU, and now to Arizona State. Just interested in, as a 16-year-old, 17-year-old, you moved to the US as an 18-year-old. How much of this journey did you sort of foresee, and versus how much has unfolded and decisions have been taken as you've gone along?
Honestly, it came from my family. We put a lot of time, especially my mom. She quit her job to make sure I'm here where I am right now. So I think a lot of dedication and preparation for me to be here. Obviously, being 18 at the time, I wasn't exactly bloomed enough yet. Obviously, it was like a huge growing point for me to grow up and learn and, to see the different culture. But I think leading up to that point, my mom really disciplined me to be where I am right now. So, yeah, it really came from my family, but mainly my mom.
Shout out Mama Poa.
Yeah, shout out Mama Poa.
And it's fair to say that Bez has been talking to your mum the last few days, so we've got a few insights a little bit later in the interview in terms of some family stories. So we'll come to that later, though. But look, I mean, a lot's changed. A lot's changed in the women's college system in the time you've been in the US, which sort of has opened up new opportunities, and that's an example of that is you moving to the Sun Devils this season, and congrats on the first win in the opening game earlier in the week. Question really around, your goal is clearly to get to the W, and you're a point guard. The move to move from LSU under Coach Mulkey and to move to ASU with Coach Miller, how much of that is around wanting to develop yourself for the WNBA?
Yeah. Obviously coming into the school, I knew that Coach Miller was more of a defensive type of coach. Both coaches are amazing. Coach Mulkey was an amazing coach, and she always gets the best of players. But I think coming over here, one thing that stood out to me was Miller. She was just really aggressive on defense, and she kept telling me I'm really heavy on defense. And mind you, I did come from LSU being a defensive stopper. So I think just having my intensity with that, we just kind of matched each other's energy. So yeah, I think it just really started from there, and then just her energy overall. She's been consistent. I mean, from the beginning since I met her on Zoom, and since I've been here. So no, it's been amazing.
And she's pretty good on TikTok as well, I understand, in combination with you.
She is. She's understanding. Obviously, this generation's into TikTok now, dances, singing, all that. So I think it's really cool that she's kind of vibing with our generation and like understanding like how to tap in with us. And yeah, she's just really cool overall. So I love her.
I just want to ask, when it comes to that, when it comes to social media, obviously the game is important, and how people engage with you outside of being on the court, outside of coming to the games or watching online. How important has social media been as an athlete with you being able to connect with your fans or with family and people around the world?
Yeah, I think it's really cool because I established my fan base at LSU, and I think it's really important for people, especially athletes, to like recognize the fans that actually dedicate the time to be at the games and make posters for you, be there for you, wait for you after. So I think just like even spend at least like 5 minutes talking to them, it can go a long way. And you just don't know who's watching you at the same time. I think I remember at my last school, someone came from like I think Seattle, just to watch one game. So it's just, like, really cool to, like, engage with the fans and, interact with them. Yeah, I think that's my favorite part about everything.
Amazing.
Well, the LSU fans and the atmosphere down there is just incredible.
Electric.
I love LSU fans. Like, they're insane. I mean, they're just as intense as we are. They're just always engaged, but obviously coming over here, that's what I'm trying to start up, so yeah.
Well, let's move to the legal case that you're the face of. And before, if you don't mind, I'll just give a little bit of a summary so people understand what you've taken on and how you got him. And then we might talk about a little bit how that came about. So college sports changed 5 years ago with the introduction of NIL. And prior to that, college athletes of all types couldn't earn any income. And now there's the opportunity with NIL. But it's difficult for international students who are on scholarship because their visa type doesn't allow you to earn income. And that has been the case. And there's ways around that, but it does limit the amount that you might earn. And you are the lead litigant in a case against the US government to change that, to enable you to have another type of visa, which is a professional athlete visa, which would enable you to earn income. And the flow-on effect of that is not just for NIL, but also potentially for the revenue share piece that will come for student athletes as well. And we're really interested in this story, or this part of your story, LT, because, and perhaps let's start with, how did this come about for you?
It was like roughly 2 years ago. I mean, with my friend Kylie, she found out I wasn't able to make NIL, and she was like, doesn't sound right. So she did her research and she looked up like I think just articles, stuff on Google, and then she came back to me, and then obviously she got her peoples involved because she knows a lot of people. And then honestly, that just kinda came about, and then I was like, "Yeah, it's not fair." Like, I see all my teammates, at the time it was Flage, Angel, and Haley, the big 3 names just getting everything, and I was like, "Man, it's not fair." And especially, like, winning a national championship, I was like, "Man, like, this would be such a cool opportunity to, like, build with brands and make relationships." But, yeah, from there, Kylie is really the main point that helped me get to where I am right now. She just did a lot of research about getting NIL, especially for international athletes like me. Um, yeah, then we just kinda dug in, and then she met with other lawyers and was just kinda connecting me with, dots, and I ended up meeting with one of the best lawyers in the country, Ksenia, and she was like, "Yeah, we can, like, pretty much sue the government for this because it's not fair." And, yeah, then I decided to because I feel like because of my profile, I was able to build up everything and just kinda continue it and hopefully fight for all internationals to get NIL.
Firstly, I feel like just the fact that you're doing that deserves a round of applause,
Yeah,
because this
yeah.
isn't something that
Thanks.
it doesn't just impact you, and it's leaving
Yeah.
potentially a lasting legacy for all these future athletes to come that are coming from
Yeah.
overseas and places like Australia.
That was, one of the main points. I've always said this, like, once I start something, I've never finished until someone says no, and I think it'll be cool, just, like, for my profile, I'm just excited to, like, fight it through all the way and hopefully change not my life, but the generation behind me, like, 'cause just coming up into America, like, seeing everything from the beginning to now and how much has changed in women's basketball, I'm like, man, like internationals being away from home, we cop it harder because, being away from home, family, get homesick. I mean, it's like the same as everyone else here, but I think living in a different country and learning a different culture is like a huge change. So I think just fighting for it and just praying on it to make, hopefully change my life
Well,
sooner.
it's not a short flight, so it
Yes.
for you to be making that commitment to be over there, you're missing out on so many moments back home. But I know
Oh, for
young
sure.
girls. I don't know if you remember when you were here about 2 years ago, and I interviewed you, and I think you've met two sisters, the Ali
twins.
sisters, the twins, and their younger sister.
Twins.
They always shout out and ask about you, but they've actually just got the opportunity to go to college. So they got a scholarship, full ride scholarship. Both the twins, they're going to the same school. And then Amira, the youngest, she's going to a JUCO. So she's going down the same path that you went down. And I guess for me, someone who just admires all three of them and the courage and the effort that they've put into pursue this career, pursue this trajectory, what sort of advice do you have for them, especially for Amira, who's so young and about to start the same JUCO path that you started?
I've always encouraged going to JUCO. I had the best time. I loved my JUCO. They treated me really good. But I think it's, sometimes it's nerve-wracking being away from home. But I think just coming in, especially JUCO, it like disciplines you to a lot of ways. It helps you to build your character as a person, but like even being dedicated to like basketball, it's really like I was really dedicated to basketball at the time, and obviously, yeah, it took me really far, but I think it's just fun, like, just enjoy it in JUCO, because once you get up to D1, it's like it's real, like, everything hits, you've actually got a schedule that you have to, like, be on time, be early, make sure you're wearing the right things, going to class. Just a lot of, like, the stuff is, like, more on point when you get up to D1, but I think just enjoying the environment over here, building new friendships. I think, a long time ago, Annalie Maley had told me before I came here, she was like, um, this was the best advice. She was like, make friends outside of your sport. Like, don't, like, obviously, you're going to see each other every day, but like, really make friends outside. And I was like, okay. So I've had a lot of friendships everywhere, and I'm so grateful for it. So,
That's
yeah,
a
that would
smart
probably be
woman.
my bit.
Shout out Anna Lee.
That is.
But I've
Yes.
also heard you talk about have a small group too, have a tight group. I've heard you.
Yes.
Tell me, share with us a little bit of that philosophy of knowing who's close.
Obviously, it's got to be over here, but I think just knowing people's goals at the end of the day, like, you know who's like going to be a good friend. And I think my circle's so tight, I know like anyone outside of my circle is not going to know my business. And I think over here it's just our generation's so different now. You just gotta be careful who you're friends with, and obviously, people that drink and smoke, it's like the party life of college. And it just depends where you want to go in life, sometimes you have to sacrifice friends like that to like be on the path you want to be on.
So you're getting quite old now. You turn 24 later this month.
Tony, who are you talking to?
So I look at you and I go, there's so much going on in your life, right? You've got your basketball, you've got your study, you've got the legal case. How do you balance all of that, and particularly the legal case, which is, going to be transformational in what it could do for student athletes?
Yeah. Honestly, I kind of let my team handle that. My lawyers, I let them handle everything. Obviously, when it comes down to it, when I need to be there, I would obviously be there. But I think stuff like that, I don't really want to be involved unless I need to be there, just because I feel like school is hard to balance with basketball and just trying to fit everything in my schedule right now. But I think for me, I'm such a routine person. I need to like know in the beginning what my routine's gonna be like, my schedule's gonna be like, so I can like stick with that throughout the week. So yeah, that's just really how I do it.
How easy is it to stick to the type of routine that you have?
Obviously it gets exhausting, but it's just like being dedicated and disciplined. I'm just grateful that my mom like built me to how I am now. Um, so I feel like her being so hard on me growing up, it's just like now like I understand why. So I think just like sticking to the goal and just knowing what the goal is at the end of the day, and just having, the right people around you that was going to get you far.
Beautifully said.
Beautifully said. And look, let's talk a little bit about LSU national championship. But you also won a championship in Florida as well, in Duco, and so you are definitely you got a winning streak with you. And maybe just start. Everybody asks. Everybody obviously asks you what's it like to play in a national championship game, let alone win a national championship. But is there one particular memory that you just sometimes reflect on in that journey and in that day and in that victory?
Yeah, I think it was the best part about it was, it's gonna sound crazy. It was right before, I would say, the national championship of LSU. It was right before we had walked in. It was just like a mob full of like Iowa fans. And there was probably a couple of LSU fans, but it was like you couldn't see our colors. So I think just walking through it, it was sick. And I actually have the photo, so I'll send it to you guys. But I think that was the time when I was like, oh man, like we're here. And that's the time when I was like, "Ah, come on, God, like, come on." But obviously when we won it, it was just like that. It didn't even feel real, to be honest. So I think that was like
They weren't
insane.
expecting you guys to win. How many was it? 26th? What were the stats for where you guys were expected to be? But you had won. You only lost that 2 games that season, right? But they weren't expecting that
We
winning
lost 2
record.
games.
And they were ranked 26th
we
at the
won.
start of the season. So
Yes, we was ranked low. But obviously at the time, like, Coach Mulkey was like, "That's fine. We just got to be the underdog." So we took one game at a time. But yeah, we lost against SC at their home, South Carolina, and then we lost to Tennessee in the SEC tournament. So yeah, 2 games out of the whole season. I don't think that's pretty bad. So, and to win it all, I think it was insane.
So we love Angel Reese, and
Just a little bit.
I have to say, my Bezza absolutely loves Angel Reese, and just the impact she's having, on and off the court. Just what did you?
Right.
What are a couple of things you learned from her as a teammate?
Man, she's fiery. Obviously, she's just so like into the game, her energy. She just taught me how to like be a dog. And, she was so hard on everyone, especially on me, she was always giving me advice, good and bad. One thing about it, like we could give it to each other, but like also like, say, hey, like you got it. So the best thing about it, like she's just a team player, and obviously, she just wants to win. But no, she's amazing. And what she's doing off the court too, like she's just dominating and showing people like this is what women do. So I think that's really cool.
When it kind of, not just about, I guess, Angel Reese when it comes to that, but as an athlete, the pressure you have to perform is obviously that's you're known as an athlete. You've gone to college to play basketball, and the aim is obviously WNBA. But the pressure you are under to perform as an athlete, do you feel like it's fair the way fans and we'll say internet trolls and people react when certain players have a life outside of sport and are trying to I guess show that they've got other parts to their personality and other things that they're interested in? Do you feel like it's fair the way they get treated?
It's not fair, but my mom always told me, good or bad hate, they're still talking. So what Angel's doing, what everyone else is doing, especially for women's basketball, I think it's really cool that they're advocating for women and just showing like everyone in the world, like, hey, we can do both. And I think that's what Angel's dominating right now. So yeah, I'm so proud of her. I'm proud of everyone. So I think it's really cool.
And not just to focus on that game, but that game was fascinating because you've obviously got you guys coming in, winning the championship, but you're also playing against another athlete who's changing the game in another way in Caitlin Clark.
Oh yeah,
and
for sure.
You're defending up, and you're playing on her quite often and doing really and doing as much as any athlete has at college level, done well on her. What are your reflections on her as an athlete in the way she plays and the way she's changed the way women's basketball is played?
Yeah. Yeah, especially her. She's changed everything. I mean, I believe her and Angel definitely changed a lot of the things, especially how we view women's basketball too. Um, But just Caitlin Clark herself, like, I've always said she's like the Stephen Curry of women. Like, she can't be stopped. I mean, anything she does, she's just a dog. Like, and it's hard to guard her.
Mm.
I remember before the game, we was like watching film on the bus, watching film at the hotel. We even watched film right before we played, and the coach was like, "All right, like, this is the last time. Like, just have fun." And I think just preparing for that game, preparing for her, yeah, it's definitely hard to stop her. I mean, she took her team to the Final Four, like 3 times? So, like, and that's rare for a woman to even do that. So, yeah, shout out to Caitlin Clark, man. She's a dog.
What's the feeling like? I guess what's the energy like when you're having to defend her, when you're playing with her? What's something that stands out with her playing style as someone who has to play against her?
It's just understanding like her go-to move, understanding when she's gonna shoot it. 'Cause everyone has a type of rhythm shot to them or a step or a move or something. So I think just understanding, what's her go-to once, it comes down to it. But just the techniques we had to like understand. Yeah. It's little details, but it goes a long way.
Beautiful.
Well, one of the cool things about when you win a national championship is you get to go to the White House. And
Yes.
as I understand it, you'd flown all the way back home, and then you get this
Yep.
phone call to say, hey, we're going tomorrow, or a couple of days in ahead. So you get back on a plane, fly all the way to Washington,
Yeah.
D.C. How cool was that experience, and what stood out?
Oh, it was sick. I loved it. Obviously, coming back home, I was excited to see my siblings, and my family. But then I had a feeling, yeah, my coach just called me. That was like, "All right, we're going to the White House in like 3 days." And they was like, "Do you want to come or not?" And I was like, duh."
Do you want to come?
I said, "Put me on a flight right now." And so, yeah, they ended up buying me a flight, and I left, I think, the next day. So I think it was sick. So obviously, when I was over there, my adrenaline was insane. I was like, "Man, we're really going to the White House." Just getting my like self together, everything. It was just so fun. The experience, meeting the president, Joe Biden, and just having the rehearsals inside the White House, seeing the history. Like, I think it was really cool to like experience all that. And my mom growing up, she loves the White House. She's all into the politics and all into that. So I think it was really cool to show her like, hey, I was there.
Who was there when you
yeah.
got that phone call? Or what? Like, were you with the
What you
family
mean?
when you got the phone call to say that you're going to the White House? Were your family with you?
Yeah. I mean, like, yeah, my mom was.
Yeah.
But they already knew like there was a call coming. We just didn't know when. But it was cool that they gave me a couple of days notice because it takes a long time to get back over here. So yeah, it was sick.
So did you get a selfie with Joe Biden?
No, actually, fortunately not. There was a lot of security. Like,
Super
they was
strict.
not playing with him. But yeah, but it was really hard to hear him because he was talking so soft. So I was like, huh? But he ended up really talking to Angel, like to our 2 captains, Angel and Emily at the time. So I mean, it was just cool to be in his presence and to actually see him live, and to finally be in the White House. So
Last year's here. We're just going to take a quick break and hear from our sponsors.
Some of us have vaped around little brothers and sisters. These kids could be breathing toxic chemicals without them even knowing. I don't think it's worth it vaping at all.
And we're back with Last Year.
We've touched a couple times on family. I think this is probably the perfect moment to delve into the Poa family situation. And as Mr. Tony, aka T Swizzle, as I like to call him, may have dobbed me in a moment ago, I may have been having some chats to Mama Poa. And
okay.
because I like to do my research, I like to, get some juicy details about people, especially if I'm about to interview them. And firstly, can I just say, just from little bits of conversation with your mum, she sounds like such a passionate and dedicated and incredible woman. So I can see why you've managed to be as dedicated as you are to get to the level that you're at, because the love that she has for you and how proud she is of you resonates so much in the messages. So believe me, I was messaging Tony. I said I'm about to start tearing up because it was just really, really beautiful. She mentioned this beautiful story about, I guess, how close you are with your siblings and how when you come back home, you and your siblings all share one bed because they all just want to be next to you, and they just jump in the bed with you and they're like, "Sis is home." What's that like, that relationship with your siblings?
Yeah, I love my siblings. Like, people think they're my child. That's how close we are. But I think, when I go back home, I even tell my brother, I know he's like in his prime time, he's like 16 now. I was
He's
like,
taller than you.
I'm sleeping. He is. He's 6'3". And then I have my baby, Heavenly, she's 5. So I think just being really close with them, I don't ever let them go ever. Obviously, when they need to go to school stuff, I would be like, okay, bye. But I try to spend every moment with them because, I don't get to go home much.
Yeah.
This year I wasn't able to go home because of my lawsuit. So I think when I did have the opportunity to go home, it cherished as much as I could.
Well, with your younger sister, so she's 5 now, right? So that's quite an age gap for you too. And from what I understand, you weren't able to be there when she was born. This was a bit of a tearjerker for a moment for me when your mum was saying it, that you were able to be on FaceTime, but you weren't physically able to be there. How hard was that moment for you?
Oh, it was hard. Obviously I found out, when my mom was pregnant at the time, that she was giving birth when I was practically flying over here, and then it was hard. So I was like, man, like it took, I think, a whole year till I met my sister. So
and how was that moment when you met her? Was that at the airport, at home? What was that situation?
Yeah, that was at the airport. I was like, my baby! Obviously, I think she understood my voice, but it was just hard to, like, see me in person. But, no, I was still in contact with her even when she was, like, a baby. I didn't care, I just, that was...
No, well, look, I know that feeling. I've got siblings that are in Ethiopia, and I'm adopted. So my family, I've got Australian family, and I've got my family in Ethiopia as well. And I've got a 6 and a 9-year-old who I met for the first time at the start of this year in January. My first time back in 20 years. Yeah, it was big, and I've been FaceTiming them for 5 or 6 years. I've been FaceTiming them basically every single week. But even that moment when I met them for the first time, like, they knew it was me, and they're a bit older, but it's FaceTime is different to reality.
Way different. Way different. I think it's just really cool now that COVID's over, thank God. So I'm able to see them. I see my brother in like 2-3 weeks. I just can't wait to give him a hug. I can't wait to see my family. So.
And the last story I want to touch on, which I thought was really beautiful, and I guess just shows that love across all dynamics of your family, is your dad, or your I guess technically your stepdad, but this man who's been in your life since you were 4 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's my dad.
That's your dad. And your mum said, as much as I love this man, I wasn't changing my name for him because, I've got my children. I want the same last name. So what did he do?
He changed his name, as he should.
That's beautiful.
He's like, well, I want the same last name as the rest of the family, so he changed his last name.
Because my wife has kept her name. And I'm Tony Hallam, and
I mean, you both H. At least there's a H there.
Maybe she'll watch this and come to me.
Say, Tony.
Yeah. Even my dad, he, like you said, he's been in my life since I was 4. I've always said that's my dad. But even him, he even, like, had 2 jobs at the time when my mom quit her job. It was just, like, a whole village just working together, and my grandparents, too. It was just our circle, just, dedicated to the goal. My mom always told me, write down your goals. So I did. I had a whole list of, like, my goals, what I want to achieve one by one. And that theory of when people say write down your goals, it's so true. And I've always done that. And ever since I've done that, every goal I've hit. So
you spoke it
really
into
cool
existence.
that, 100%.
Maybe just with family and just speaking of names, and I think you've shared this story before, but it's just such a beautiful story. Could you just share the story of your first name and where that came from and the inspiration for that?
Last year came from my great grandma to Nane. At the time, obviously, I wasn't born, but my mom's generation was pregnant, and she had a dream that someone in my mom's generation was pregnant, and people kept asking around, and at the time my mom was so young, she kept saying nah, and then she ended up finding out she was pregnant. So later down the line, my great grandma was in hospital. She was grasping for air, and yeah, she was like dying. And obviously, the last tear that came down her eye, that was like a resemblance of like, oh, the next girl that's gonna be born is gonna be named Marcia, because a lot of the people in my family like saw her as like our queen, because anything we did, we went through her apparently. So yeah, then a couple months later, it was me. And yeah, when I was born, pretty much I had a beauty spot underneath my left eye of the beauty spot of the last tear that came down her eye. So I think that's really cool.
I'm having
I was
goosebumps.
able
I know
Yeah,
the
it's
story, but I've got
beautiful.
goosebumps. It's so beautiful.
Yeah,
It's just a beautiful
it's so
story.
sick. I love her name. Obviously at the time when I was young, I didn't really understand it, but now like I love how rare it is. You don't ever hear last tear.
No, it's
It's
very
pretty cool.
special, but I think it just also shows just the deep connection to culture and community and your roots that you've been part of, and obviously being away from all of that, and being in a different country where there is a different culture. How do you manage to keep your Samoan heritage, your Samoan roots, close to you when you're so far away from your family?
Church, I know a lot of people think it's like, okay, but I think just keeping God with me, we're a very religious family about God, and just praying a lot. When you're down, when you're happy, when you win, when you lose. Very into God and very faithful in him, and yeah, I think I'm grateful that I was able to be brought up in a church and been able to experience what I did. So now, like, I think just being over here in America, I think it's cool. Like, I rely a lot on church. So, yeah.
Amen.
Well, you're clearly also hardworking and driven, and you've already graduated from LSU with your interdisciplinary degree, and I think you're studying business now. Is that right at ASU? So off the court and on the court, I suppose, but with these things, it sort of must give you a pretty broad view of the business of basketball, the business of sport.
Yeah.
So we
Yeah,
got
I'd
to keep
love
a
to
shout
dress
out. We
up.
got to keep an eye out for the LTP clothing line somewhere down the track.
Absolutely.
Yes. Yes.
Well, Beza will be buying it. Don't worry.
I'll be posting it. I'll be sharing it with my family. I'll be modeling it.
Come
So
on
just,
now.
I think you're going to have a collection, a T-shirt collection in your line that's going to be quotes by Mama Poa. And
Yeah, Mama Paul's got tea now.
that's. I
Tea
think that's one of
is
your
really
questions.
fun.
Hey,
Yeah.
LT, for us to wrap this up, we're going to play a real quick game of rapid fire. Easy things, and I think this is just a good way for people to get to know you a little bit and just to kind of get some insights on how you think, okay?
Yep.
What's your favorite pre-game song?
Or Hit 'Em Up by Tupac.
Okay. Hardest player that you've ever guarded?
Oh, Caitlin Clark. Sure.
I feel like that was a given, but
Yeah.
there could have been someone else. When you were in Louisiana, gumbo or jambalaya?
Gumbo.
Ooh.
But chicken gumbo. It could have
Chicken.
been seafood. I've never tried seafood before.
Because you don't like seafood, or?
No, the smell. I don't know what it is.
Hey, one-word answers,
smell
guys.
like.
Come on.
I'm sorry, I get excited about the food. All right. Tony's going to keep us in check. Your best locker room dance move at LSU?
Everyone would say the jiggy. I don't know if you guys heard of it. Everyone just loves to jiggy down in Louisiana. So.
I'll show Tony a little later after this. Who's your basketball hero?
Oh. Can I name a few, or does it have
You
to
can
be
name a
one?
couple.
Okay, I would say Kobe, LeBron, and Michael Jordan.
The big three, the big three. This one, I think Tony really wanted to hear. I'm going to let him ask it.
Okay, so you might have just given the answer, but dream dinner guests, you can pick three with you.
Michael Jackson, Kobe, and Tupac.
And what are you eating and who's cooking?
Mom's cooking, and I'm eating chicken pasta.
Okay. All right, last one.
Okay.
Think about this one.
This is an important one. What's
Okay.
one word you'd use to describe your next chapter?
Relentless.
I like that.
That's a great word.
I like that. That's really beautiful. You are an inspirational woman, and I think you've got one of the most intriguing stories when it comes to women's basketball. And from Tony and I from the Sixth Woman podcast, for the young Polynesian girls out here watching you and just young women in basketball in general, we're so, so grateful for your time, and we're so excited to watch you and your next chapter and how relentless you are and where you're headed. So thank you for your time. Good luck with the studies. And we'll be cheering for you on the sidelines.
Yes. Hopefully, you guys can come.
We wrote something in our notes, and I just wanted to read it out to you because I just think it sort of, I'll be honest with you, it's just an amazing journey you're on.
Oh, thank you.
And there's a lot of emotion in it, I think, in terms of, family and faith and just going and living in another country like you are is. So we just wrote this. We said, last year, your story is more than basketball. It's about courage, leadership, creating opportunities for others. From a national champion to a change maker for college athletes, you're blazing a trail that's going to matter for years to come. So thank you very much for joining us.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you, guys.
Appreciate you.
That was awesome.
How was that?
I think I need some tissues. I need water.
Look,
that was beautiful.
What I won't say young person. She's just so mature, and
she's just taking everything in her stride. And it's not, when I say everything, they're huge things. A degree, playing on the big stage,
taking on the US government,
taking on the US government. That's just, it's inspiring. And I just know there's so many young girls that can look at her and just go like that's a role model.
You know, the word that sort of sticks in my mind, she's just so authentic.
Yeah.
And she sort of figuring out who she is, like so many people are trying to do. And I can't tell you how much admiration I have for somebody who is taking on that litigation, not just for herself, but she obviously believes it for herself.
Yeah.
But it will literally change hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of international students who are on scholarship in college basketball and all college sports.
Yeah.
Just incredible.
Yeah. I mean, players talk about wanting to have a legacy, and this is going to be hers. It's her opportunity to shine on and off the court, and I think it's just such a special, special thing to be able to witness from our end. So, I mean, what a wonderful way to have our first guest, a wonderful story to be able to share. We hope you guys are enjoying it out there. And, if there's any other guests that you want us to speak to and anyone that's got a special story, because for us it's about storytelling and providing a platform for these athletes, let us know in the comments. We do watch them. We do respond back. Keep connected with us on Spotify, YouTube, Instagram, and we'll see you for the next show.